Hey everybody, it's Jeannie from Clifton's Crafty Casa. Welcome to my page or channel. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell to watch other videos, and also comment. I appreciate that. Today we're doing Stencil Sunday, hosted by Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration and Mary from The Painted Peach. I've started out my stencil project with a long thin board. It's 23 by 5 3/4 inches. And I'm painting the back side black and the front side black, and all the edges, of course. And we're going to just give that a little dry before I turn it over and fill in the spots that I missed the first time. I'm using ink by Waverly Chalk Paint. The color ink by Waverly Chalk Paint. And I'm using a stencil brush or a regular brush to put all that on. I'm going to use a stencil brush in a minute to do the stenciling. Here I'm measuring that so I can tell you what it is. And I'm using a stencil from the Stencilsmith. And I love this quote from the scripture. And I think everybody should have that in their home or around so that you can remember to always trust in the Lord. So I'm going to use some Waverly Chalk Paint in the color Plaster, an essential stencil brush, 3/4 inch brush. And I made sure that I offloaded all of the paint before I went on. I'm going to do a thin coat at first. It looks like I'm pushing it. I'm not. I'm just going over the top of the stencil with my brush, and it's doing all the work for me. I'm just rolling it around, and I'm doing it in circles. And I do a counterclockwise and a clockwise all the way across. And I'm just going to put one coat on right now. It's a very thin coat. And then I will do the second coat in just a few minutes. I've got it sped up for you so that you don't have to sit here and watch me do that stenciling. You want to make sure your brush is just like a dry brush consistency, and your paint that you're using is all in your brush. It is not sitting on top of it, it's in it. So that's why you onload and offload with the paint. So I'm doing my second coat. Second coat doesn't take as much time because you can tell when it's on this 10 millimeter of plastic for it's a see-through, so you're able to tell what it looks like. And so we're just going to finish that up. And then I'm going to get out a fine detail brush also from Essential Stencil, and I'm going to fill in the bridges. The bridges are the little spots that you have no paint on in your lettering. It's the only time I usually do it is with the lettering. And I'm just going to put a little bit of white, and I'm spraying it with some water to make it thinner so it's not so thick. And I'm just going to cover in those little spots. And most of the time you just have to put a dot, especially on these little letters. Just a dot of paint so that it will complete the letter. I don't really like my letters to have a hole in it. And so this makes it a little bit better. I made a little mistake and went over. I used my X-Acto knife to just kind of scrape it off. I don't scrape it off, just the white paint, not any of the black. So we're going to do those. And Understanding has some bigger bridges in it, but not as many as you'd think. This is a cursive font, and so it's pretty easy to be able to use it without bridges a lot of the time. When I get down to Proverbs 3:5, I'm going to use a Sharpie pen, and it is just the really fine tip Sharpie pen. I'm going to put it in my paint and just put a dot on each of those little spots for that Proverbs, because it is very small. So I'm just going to use that pen. That pen is a trick somebody else talked to me about, and I share it every time I'm doing a stencil project. So we put a dot on each one of those, and we are finished with the lettering. Now I like to frame my pieces. It helps your eye go to the middle of the piece. And so with this plaque, I'm going to frame, I'm going to whitewash with my Essential Stencil brush and just do it really lightly around all the edges, and you get that detail around the edge. And then a little bit on each of the top part. Just do a really small amount around it, and that becomes the frame. This was an easy project, something that was fun to do. I am going to gift this project to a person, and I think they will love it. So thank you very much for joining me. Have a great day.